Okay, so there's two things I want to get off my chest. The first one is that if you see this outfit in a different video, shh, it's called bulk recording, people. And it's a thing I don't normally do, so trying something new. But speaking of something new, I have some new books I want to show all of you, and yeah, it's a haul video. A few of these books actually were sent to me by publishers, and then I did haul 3 books on my own because, well, I wanted to. Let's start with the first one. This book is beautiful in terms of like the cover. The artist did a magnificent job with this, and that is In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. I did take a photo of this book for my Instagram page, which you can follow. So I did start this book. Actually, I'm about 44 pages into this story, and it follows Beckett and Evie. Beckett is this farmer. He's supposed to be super grumpy, kind of antisocial, just not really somebody who's out here trying to be in the middle of things. Evie, on the other hand, is a social media star. She is in charge of this like farming competition, and so she goes to different farms, whatever. So yeah, she's just an influencer, I guess. But she ends up meeting Beckett, and she spends 2 very hot and steamy nights with this man. Now, they're very close door. We don't really get a lot of deets, if you know what I'm saying, which kind of threw me off. I was surprised by that. I'm not sure if the whole book is going to be like that or not. So she ends up spending these 2 great nights with Beckett, and she doesn't think she's ever going to see him again. And so she has to come back to do this competition with the farming thing. Eventually, what's going to happen, I haven't gotten to that point yet, but it's on the back, so I'm not spoiling anything, don't worry. But she eventually is going to decide that this whole social media thing is just really clogging up her mindset. She needs a break. She just needs to be free and to go back to a place where she feels most like herself, where she's happiest and where she feels lightest. And that was when she was with Beckett at his farm. So she goes back to the farm, and from then on she spends time with Beckett, and I guess they fall in love. I don't know, I'm just guessing. It's a hunch, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, so far it's okay. I'm not totally gripped or sold yet on any of it, but I'm gonna give it a fair chance. So next, again, is a book that's been floating around the intranet. It's kind of everywhere, and I was a bit influenced to get it. I mean, I've heard people saying they loved it, they cried, and I've been waiting to read a romance where I loved it so much that I was in tears at some point in the story. Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. Barber is this bad boy, okay, and he is the kind of bad boy who likes to be by himself. He enjoys his life in solitude. Naomi is a runaway bride, and she leaves her wedding to go help her twin. Naomi's twin sister ends up taking all of her stuff, her money, her belongings, her car, and skips town. Naomi's twin has an 11-year-old daughter who is now left alone for Naomi to take care of. Like, you just dumping your kid on your sister, and she ends up running into Barber, who, again, like I said, he's a bad boy. He wants to be alone, and he can't leave her alone. He at least wants to help her get on her feet. I don't know what happens, but apparently there's some real danger in here at some point. I don't know, but this kind of reminds me of what's the movie, Life as We Know It. So I'm excited to read this book. Everyone seems to be loving it. I have high hopes for it, and if you want a vlog for this, let me know in the comments. Okay, so moving right along to the next book that I actually bought myself is Year on Fire by Julie Buxbaum. It says, can a single kiss change everything? It was a year on fire. They fell in love. Someone was bound to get burned. The spark. Just days before the start of junior year for twins Arch and Emmy and their best friend Paige, a spontaneous kiss shakes the very foundation of their friendship. But some loyalties run too deep to be broken by accidental betrayal. The fuel. The fuel. Enter Rowan, new to Wood Valley High by way of London, who walks into school on the first day completely overwhelmed by his sudden move halfway around the world. When Paige calls dibs on him, he's too cute to ignore. Emmy is in no position to argue, certainly not after taking the fall for the disloyal kiss. Too bad for Emmy that Ro feels like the best kind of familiar. The kindling. Former lab partners Arch and Jackson, Paige's ex-boyfriend, have never considered themselves more than friends. But sometimes feelings can grow like flames fanned by the wind. The flames. When the girls' bathroom at Wood Valley is set ablaze, no one doubts it's arson. But in this bastion of privilege, who'd be angry enough to want to burn down the school? Answer: pretty much everyone. Year on Fire explores the blinding power of the lies we tell others and those we tell ourselves, the tight grip of family secrets, the magic of first love, and the grounding beauty of friendship. So there's, see what I'm saying? A lot going on in this story. It's like 5 people. There's an accidental kiss, a new boy in town, an old flame being rekindled. It's a lot happening. The next few books, one's an arc and then one's a final copy. So the first one is Immortal Rising by Lindsay Sands. This story I think is going to be pretty interesting and pretty fun, and it follows Stephanie and Thorn. Stephanie is an immortal who was turned when she was a child. I'm not sure what kind of immortal being she is. It isn't specified. So Stephanie ends up finding an Argino family, and so she's created this new life for herself, and it's kind of lonely, but you know, she's happy with what she has right now. And then she meets Thorn. Thorn is this genetically engineered being. He's not an immortal, but he's not mortal either, and he ends up meeting Stephanie, and his whole life he's kind of felt like he's on the run. He felt alone, and then he meets her and he feels like he's falling in love with her, and he can be himself. He can be completely his genetically engineered self, until for some reason, I'm not sure why, but the scientist who created Thorn is now after Stephanie. So now her life is in danger, and the two of them have to pretty much survive together. So it sounds like it'll be kind of adventurous. I haven't read a book like this in a while, like in I think like a good year or two. So I'm ready to get into this one. I think it'll be a fun time, if nothing else. Next is Seton Girls by Charlene Thomas. So this is like a dark academia. Okay, it's dubbed as dark academia. I don't really know how true that is, but we'll see when I read it. So I'm gonna read the back of this one. It says, a smart and twisty debut that starts off like Friday Night Lights and ends with the power of dear white people. Seton Academic High is a prep school obsessed with its football team and their 13-year conference win streak, a record that players always say they never have without Seton's girls. What exactly Seton girls do to make them so valuable, though, no one ever really says. They're just the best. But the team's quarterback, the younger brother of the Seton star who started the streak, wants more than regular season glory. He wants a state championship before his successor, Seton's first black quarterback, has a chance to overshadow him. Bigger rewards require bigger risks, and soon the actual secret to the team's enduring success leak to a small group of girls who suddenly have the power to change their world forever. This is the story of the Seton girls. It sounds intriguing, but it's a very vague description. I mean, honestly, I don't really know what to expect with this. I hope it delivers. Anywho's, we have a Fairyloot unboxing today. This is the April Fairyloot unboxing, and I'm quite excited. Are you? I hope you are. Are you ready? We're gonna open it now. Oh, what do we have here? Okay, no, seriously, what do we have here? I'm trying to like not look at all of this stuff. We have our spoiler card here. Can you see that? I think I do know the book for this month. Let's just dig right in. So we have a Strange the Dreamer moth pin, which is interesting because if you know me, you know I hated that book. I mean, granted, I read like 13 pages of it, but I never could get into it. But the moth pin is really pretty. I will give them that. This is a beautiful pin. I think this might be one of my favorite ones though, which is funny because like my least favorite book. But I like the pen. Oh, okay, so this was supposed to be in the last box from last month. For those of you who might be wondering, I know there was a couple of comments on Fairyloot's Instagram page about these cards. If you haven't gotten your box yet, don't worry. When you get it, you will have the cards that were supposed to come in last month's box and this month's box. And let me just show you what some of them look like. This is actually very cool because I love playing cards. I love playing Tunk. I love playing spades. The occasional go fish with my nephew. These are what they look like on the outside. Then you have the face cards are different characters. These are very cool. Okay, what might this be? So we have fairy lights. Oh, this is cool. This is nice. I obviously can't really show you them, but they're fairy lights in the shape of a heart. And I will definitely hang these up in my room so you can see how they look at some point, and you'll see them in another video, a future video. But okay, this is definitely the Night Circus inspired. It's obviously on the plate. I read that after the fact, but it says, and there are really never endings, happy or otherwise. But this is a nice plate. Some type of like, oh wait, what does it say? What is a person if not the marks they leave behind? V.E. Schwab. Is this a darker shade of magic related? Anybody know? Anybody know? I don't know, but I like it. And I like how it popped out. This is a 2-book box, first of all. this is exciting. So let me read it back to you. But get into this cover. This is really pretty. And the original cover is just as nice. I mean, honestly, this book is just super pretty, but we have blue spread edges, which is cool. So I'm gonna read the synopsis to you. Hunter Yi has perfect aim with a bow and arrow, but all else in his life veers off course. Haunted by his family's past mistakes, the only things keeping him from running away are his younger brother, a supernatural wind, and a bewitching girl at his new school. Luna Cheng dreads the future. Graduation looms ahead, and her parents' expectations are stifling. Then her life is turned upside down by the strange new boy in her class, the unearthly fireflies that follow her around, and an ominous crack that begins to spread across the town of Fairbridge. As Hunter and Luna navigate the feud between their families and uncover hidden secrets, everything around them begins to fall apart. All they can depend on is their love, but time is running out and fate will have its way. A spellbinding reinterpretation of Romeo and Juliet, but with romance, magic, and Chinese mythology. If you're into Chinese mythology, if you're looking for a Romeo and Juliet retelling or reimagination, here you go. Don't say I never gave you guys anything. So, before I open up the book, this book, let's show you the card. So we have the Emperor. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, there we go. We have the Emperor, and then we have the High Priestess. I really like these ones. I'm so excited right now because I think I know the book, but I could definitely be freaking wrong. Are we ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I was definitely wrong. This is not what I thought it was gonna be. Wow, so the book for the month is Blood Scion by Deborah Fillet. This book is beautiful. This is so nice. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, the original cover is gorgeous. Like the orange and the blue together, I think the original cover is just exquisite. It's actually hard to beat. Like this cover is pretty, but that original cover. So anyway, this is very nice too. I'm not gonna take away from that at all. There isn't really any art on the, there's no end papers really like that. I mean, pretty standard, but they're fine. I will say I am a fan of the cover under the dust jacket because it is the exact same as the actual jacket, which if you don't want the jacket on the book, like while you're reading, you still can have that experience of looking at this book beautifully while, like when you close it. So I appreciate that actually. Let's read the synopsis of this book. It says, I am a descendant of Shango, the god of heat and fire. 15-year-old Sloane can incinerate an enemy at will. She is a scion, a descendant of the ancient Orisha gods. But under the brutal rule of the Lucius, her identity means her death. Her mother knew as much. She disappeared trying to hide Sloane's truth. Sloane, too, has hidden her abilities, but on her 15th birthday, she is conscripted into the Lucius army. Once taken, Sloane must not only conceal her power, but overcome the bloody challenges of Lucius training. But if she can infiltrate the Lucius, she could destroy her enemies, the people who think of her as less than human, the overlords responsible for her mother's disappearance. Sloane rises through the ranks and gains strength, but, in doing so, risks something greater, losing herself entirely and becoming the very monster she harbored. So this is Deborah's debut novel. I hope the story is as beautiful and bold as the covers have been for this book, but I will let y'all know for sure what I think about it. And then we have some artwork here and a bookmark. Our girl Sloane here. And once again, our girl Sloane. Yeah, and for anyone who wants to know the theme for next month's box, it is going to be Cloak and Dagger. So this was fun. Anyway, I have a book to go put down and a new book to go start. I hope that you guys enjoyed this little haul video of mine. Yeah, so if you have any questions about the arcs that I posted or any of the books that I hauled, if you want to see my thoughts as I'm reading them, don't forget to follow my Twitter. I'm always tweeting about the books I'm reading, my thoughts. They're in my description box below. I have to clean up her mess now. So yeah, I have things to do. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope that you had fun, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay.